Beyond the Gates time. Let's get into it. Okay, so Ted has officially proclaimed his falling in love with Shanice Johnson. This time he actually said it. So I am happy to hear this. Oh my God, Bill is so freaky. I'm Team Bill though. Danny's in denial. She's trying to act like what happened in this elevator was because it was a near death experience and this and that. And she has no feelings for Bill. She's lying to herself and to Bill, and he is calling it out. Mark my words, they will be back together very soon. So Ashley and Grayson are back on track, and he is now working part-time at Uptown as a bartender. So let's see what happens with them. So Kat is meeting up with Nicole to have a heart-to-heart, I guess. Now, as we know, Kat has impulsively purchased a condo thinking it's a compromise to her turning down Tomas's proposal. Okay. And so they're just talking about how Tomas is in Puerto Rico right now, and Kat wishes she could have gone as well and been introduced as his fiance, but they're just not there yet. And Nicole was like, well, maybe this is all divine timing. I mean, because Kat and Tomas get on my nerves. They are the worst couple on this show. They have no business being together. I'm sorry. They are constantly on different pages. Kat doesn't know what she wants, and then he doesn't know what he wants, but when he does, she doesn't want it. It's too much. I hope Nicole talks some sense into Kitty Cat. Bill does not want his fun times to stop with Dani. He is like, vinyl is back and you can be back too. And Dani's like, no, this is like an addiction. You exploited me. You took advantage of a situation. He's like, it was both of us. And I agree. It takes two to tango, Dani. Please, Dani, stop lying to yourself. You know you want Bill. Just admit it. So Nicole is taking a little bit of onus for presenting her and Ted's former marriage as like some picture perfect thing. And she thinks maybe she guided Kat down the wrong direction. And this is why Kat is always trying to basically create her own happily ever after. And Nicole is advising her to be a little more like free. You know, she doesn't have to tie herself down to a future that she can't fully control or a future that may not come to fruition. And Kat is listening to Nicole. And she's like, well, I don't know if I could be a free spirit like Chelsea or even you for that matter. And Nicole was like, why not? And I'm like, yeah, if Nicole's uptight self can let loose, why can't you? So Kat's still considering that. And then she happens to mention that Naomi has the BRCA gene because clearly Nicole did not know. So let's see. Kat also tells Nicole that Naomi is considering a double mastectomy and Nicole does not look pleased. Oh my goodness. Back to Ted and Shanice. Okay. So Ted expresses he is falling in love with Shanice, and her response is to freak out and say she has to leave so she can process this. I'm like, y'all, do you want this man or not? So Grayson is still very much struggling with what happened with the plasma ring and his role in it, and he is just down in the dumps about it. And Ashley is reminding him that he is a good man and he just made a mistake, and she's there to support him. I'm glad this girl is finally thinking clearly and being less annoying. I literally love watching Bill and Dani's spar. He said she's married to a little puppy on a leash, and Dani said, and you're married to a little bitch. Dani is still in denial. She said there will never be another secret. And Bill says, never say never. What? Oh, looks like Tomas has not gone to Puerto Rico yet. My bad. He's at the bar talking to Grayson. Look, y'all, I do not think this is going to work out. Tomas is still carrying this ring around. He's sitting at the bar looking at it, Grayson assumed that they broke up after this failed proposal. Tomas said he's gonna take it with him to Puerto Rico and still think about it. He's gonna think if he's going to give it to Kat again. I think it's gonna be a no. So Kat has called Ted down to Orphe Jeans for some fatherly advice. He automatically assumes it's about Tomas. He just found out that she bought this condo from Tomas the other day, and Ted is about to relay his conversation while Kat is talking about what went down. I hope Ted gives her some real talk. Okay, so Kat is going through the conversation that she had with Nicole, and Nicole was actually telling her to just basically kind of let the chips fall where they may. Like, don't try to take control of the situation and just be patient and see where the relationship goes. So then Ted talks about how he is kind of in a similar predicament. And Kat's like, what? Oh, you proposed to Shanice and she shot you down in front of your whole family? He's like, no, but I did tell her that I was falling in love with her. And she is not on the same page, or at least I guess that's how he perceived it since she ran out. And Kat, just like me, she was like, huh, that seems like interesting. I thought Shanice would have been all for this, but let's see what she says to Ashley. So Shanice is telling Ashley what happened, and Ashley's like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And Shanice is talking about how she was like a deer in headlights, and all she could do was stand there, and how she needed time to think and ran out and came to the hospital. This is insane to me. Now, how did this conversation about Kat turn into Ted's woes? But whatever. Kat is trying to give him some advice. Maybe he needs to hear this from a woman's perspective as well. Because he is just confused. Kat thinks it's good that he is hurt because that means he cares. And Kat really does like Shanice. Shock! I think Shanice is going to come around. She's telling Ashley that she, can't, I guess, allow herself to go there, but let's see what she says later. Okay, thank you, Ted. Now the conversation has gone back to the focal point, which was Kat and Tomas. And Kat feels like she has to fix the situation because she feels like she is to blame for how Tomas is feeling. But Ted is like, actually, Tomas needs to lick his own wounds. And you didn't do anything wrong. You were going through a big situation with the liver transplant at that time and the recovery. And he just basically sprung this on you. And it would have been worse if she would have accepted the proposal knowing she wasn't fully ready. So I agree with Teddy Bear, and I'm glad the conversation went back to where it was supposed to be. So Bill is saying that the issue is chemistry between them, and they both have it with each other. Dani refutes that. She is trying to take the high moral ground, but I believe she is lying to herself. So Bill is just telling her she's never been hotter until she's caught in between wanting to kill him and do him. And then Nicole is at the door. I'm like, oh, are you now? Bill is covering, saying, I'm just stopping by to thank her for the hospital visit. And he's really glad that they've gotten to this point with no hate and just friendly and good vibes. And he hopes they can keep it going. And then he leaves. Oh my God, does Nicole know what's going on? So Nicole was like, I already know, Dani, your secret's out. And Dani thinks she's talking about with Bill, but she is talking about the BRCA gene and Naomi. They got me good because I thought I was ready for Nicole to find this out. So Nicole is checking up on Dani after she's finding out about Naomi having the BRCA gene. And Dani, in my opinion, is making this about her. She's making it all about how Naomi didn't feel comfortable coming to her and she gave her this gene and blah, blah, blah. And Nicole is like, she was doing that as a courtesy. Like, girl, Naomi's going to need all of our strength. Especially if she's considering surgery, and Danny's like, "What surgery?" Oh my god. Okay, Shanice is just scared of love in general, and Ashley is trying to talk her through it because this makes no sense at this age, but I kind of get it. But let's see what happens. Lord. So Kat is at Uptown meeting up with Tomas before he goes out of town. And it seems like they're okay on the relationship front. And she's questioning why he is reducing his trip to Puerto Rico from 1 week to a few days. And she was like, "Oh, I thought Bill signed off on it." And that's when Tomas starts talking about his, I guess, what do you call it? Anxiety or concerns with Naomi potentially coming in and taking the spot that he has worked for. And Kat's like, Naomi's not interested in that. You know, she's a, what do you call it? A public justice warrior. I don't know. Like, she's busy doing her own thing. And Tomas was like, well, with this Madison case and Bill's stroke, Naomi and Bill are inching closer together. So then Kat running her mouth, she's just like, well, there's a huge thing happening on the home front, and Naomi will be distracted with that. And Tomas was like, oh, what? Bill didn't say anything about that to me. And Kat is like, well, Bill didn't know. And why does Bill walk up as soon as Kat says, oh, Bill doesn't know? And he's like, well, what don't I know? Okay, good. So Kat covers and just says that Bill doesn't know how great Tomas is and how lucky he is to have him at his firm. And Bill is happy to hear Kat sing Tomas's praises, even though he thought she was stringing Tomas along. Kat tells Bill that she and Tomas are of a different generation and they would never rush into a marriage and realize that they wake up one day and they don't respect their partner. She was like, that would be so sad. And Bill is just looking, he's fuming because he knows she's talking about Haley, and she's right. Shanice is terrified of having her heart broken again, and she promised herself she would never be vulnerable like that again. And Ashley's like, you just won't know unless you try. So you need to figure out if the heartbreak outweighs the potential of happiness. And Shanice says, you're right. And she heads out. Hopefully, she's going to go talk to Ted. Oh my God, Dani's spiraling again. Okay, so she doesn't want Naomi to make this decision for herself. She is shocked to hear about this double mastectomy, and she's like, no, we can't let her do that. And like, oh, Nicole, you wouldn't suggest this for your clients. And Nicole's like, I don't tell my clients what to do. I just talk to them and they make the decision. So Dani is like, yeah, but no. We're gonna make sure Naomi does not go through this. I Dani needs to get a grip. I love this character, but she is a lot at times. So Tomas asks Kat to keep an eye on Naomi while he's gone because he just wants someone to have his back. He's like, just do what you do. Private investigator Kat is on it. Kat agrees, but she's like, Naomi is family, and I'm only keeping an eye out just to prove you wrong because Naomi has a lot more to think about than your little raggedy job. And now it is almost time for Tomas to call his car so he can go to his house and get the rest of his stuff so he can head off to Puerto Rico. Thank you, Nicole. She is telling a spiraling Dani that Naomi is not you and she wants to handle this the way that she wants to handle it. And I agree. So Nicole advises Dani to find the same cool, calm, and collected woman that she gave to Anita. Find her and give that to Naomi because you're doing too much. Shanice goes to Ted and admits that she's falling in love with him as well. And she's just a big old scaredy cat. She's scared of cats and she's scared of birds, is what Ted said. Now, Ted said this is going to be good to Shanice, and he asked her if she believes him, and it looks like she does, but I don't know, y'all. Now, I am Team Ted and Shanice, but I know if this one gives Ted a hint of time, I think he's going to run back to Nicole. What y'all think?